There's a stretch of desert highway in southern Nevada that truckers avoid after midnight. I didn't know that. I had just started a temporary delivery contract that required me to transport medical equipment between small towns. It paid well enough, and I didn't ask too many questions. My route that week ran between two isolated communities about 90 miles apart, connected by a highway that cut straight through open desert. No trees, no houses, no service stations. Just sand, rock, and endless dark. The incident happened in late October. It wasn't foggy. It was clear. Too clear. The kind of night where the sky looks fake because you can see every single star. I remember checking the dashboard clock, 1:47 a.m., when I noticed something strange on the horizon ahead of me. At first I thought it was a radio tower beacon, a steady amber pulse. Slow, deliberate. But the problem was, there are no towers out there. I've driven that road dozens of times since. There's nothing but flat land for miles. The light wasn't high in the sky. It was low, just above the ground, and it wasn't stationary. It was moving parallel to the highway, matching my speed. I was doing about 65 mph. So was it? That's when I realized something else. There was no sound, no wind buffeting the truck, no engine vibration. The steering wheel felt strangely loose in my hands. I glanced at the dashboard. The speedometer read 0, but I was clearly moving. The road lines were sliding under me. The engine noise was gone. Complete silence, like someone had muted reality. That amber light began shifting color, from yellow to orange to deep red, each pulse brighter than the last. Not flashing faster, just intensifying. My headlights flickered once, then went out completely. I was driving in total darkness, except for that pulsing red glow pacing me just beyond the shoulder. Panic should have hit me, but it didn't. Instead, I felt calm, artificially calm, like my emotions were being suppressed. The red light drifted closer to the road, close enough now that I could see it wasn't a single source. It was a sphere, perfectly round, hovering about 3 feet above the desert floor. No visible structure, just light, and it wasn't casting shadows. It was absorbing them. The temperature inside the cab dropped instantly. My breath fogged in front of me. In the desert, in October, I tried to grab my phone from the passenger seat. It wasn't there. It had been there 5 minutes earlier. I always place it there. Now the seat was empty. The sphere suddenly stopped moving. I kept going, except I wasn't controlling the vehicle. The truck drifted off the highway toward it, smoothly, like it was being guided. There were no tire sounds on gravel, no bumps, just silence. The red glow turned white. Brilliant, blinding, but it didn't hurt my eyes. Instead, everything around me disappeared. The truck, the road, the sky, gone. There was only white, and then nothing. When I came to, I was parked perfectly on the shoulder of the highway. Engine running, headlights on, radio playing static, dashboard clock reading 1:48 a.m. 1 minute later, I told myself I must have zoned out. Microsleep, stress, something explainable, until I got home and found sand in the truck bed. Not desert sand, black sand, fine like ash. We don't have black sand in that region. I never reported it, never told my employer. I finished the contract and never drove that route again. 3 weeks later, I got a call from another driver assigned to that same highway. He asked me something strange. "Did you ever see a light out there?" I hung up, because I knew exactly which one he meant. This happened about 3 years ago. I've been hauling freight across state lines for over a decade now. Long nights, empty highways, and sleeping in the cab are just part of the lifestyle. You learn to read the road, you learn to read vehicles, and you definitely learn when something isn't right. That night I was running a refrigerated load across western Arizona, trying to complete the final leg of a 3-day route before heading home. It was close to 1:30 in the morning, and traffic had completely died out. No towns, no billboards, just endless desert and a thin ribbon of highway cutting through it. I first noticed the vehicle when my dash lit up. From headlights that hadn't been there before. Not close, not tailgating, just there, a matte gray pickup. It wasn't hugging my trailer like impatient drivers usually do. It stayed several hundred yards back. But every time I changed speed, whether I slowed slightly downhill or sped up on a straight stretch, it adjusted perfectly, too perfectly. At first I told myself it was coincidence, maybe another driver on the same schedule. But after nearly 30 miles, the truck hadn't attempted to pass once, not even when we hit long, clear passing lanes. That's when the pattern started to feel deliberate. I decided to test it. I dropped my speed by 10 miles per hour. So did it. I increased suddenly. It matched again. No hesitation, no delay. Like it was synced to me. That uneasy feeling settled in. The one you get when your instincts start whispering that something is off. About 40 minutes later, I exited toward an old, nearly abandoned way station I knew about. It had been decommissioned years ago, and now served as an unofficial, pull-off spot for drivers who needed a break. No lights, no staff, just cracked pavement and desert wind. As soon as I took the exit ramp, I checked my mirror. The gray pickup followed. That confirmed it. This wasn't random. I pulled deep into the lot, positioning my trailer at an angle near a line of overgrown bushes. The pickup didn't park close. Instead, it stopped near the entrance, engine idling. I stayed in the cab, waited. 5 minutes passed. 10. The pickup's headlights shut off, but the engine stayed running. That was enough for me. I killed my own lights and locked the doors. I wasn't about to step outside blind. Eventually, the pickup reversed slowly and disappeared back toward the highway. I didn't relax, not even a little. Something told me it wasn't over. Exhaustion hit me hard once the adrenaline faded. Against my better judgment, I decided to rest for an hour before finishing the drive. I did a full walk-around inspection, checked my seals, confirmed the refrigeration unit was intact, and climbed back inside. I barely remember closing my eyes. What woke me wasn't loud. It was subtle, a metallic click. Then another, soft, controlled. I didn't move. Through a narrow gap in my curtain, I saw movement near the side of my trailer. 2 silhouettes. They weren't rushing. They were working carefully. One of them crouched low near the side access panel. The other stood slightly back, scanning the darkness. Then I saw the tool, a compact hydraulic cutter. My stomach dropped. They weren't amateurs. Before I could react further, faint headlights appeared at the far end of the lot. Lights that had clearly been off until that moment. The same gray pickup, positioned as lookout, waiting. That's when I slammed my hand into the air horn. The blast shattered the silence like an explosion. Both figures bolted instantly, dropping something metallic on the ground as they sprinted toward the pickup. Within seconds, doors slammed, the engine roared, and the vehicle tore out of the lot without ever turning its headlights fully on. Gone. Just like that. When my heartbeat finally slowed, I grabbed my phone and called Highway Patrol. They arrived nearly 40 minutes later. Fresh cut marks scarred the side latch mechanism of my trailer. They hadn't made it through the reinforced lock, but they were close. The officer told me something I didn't like hearing. Cargo crews operate in teams along that corridor. One vehicle scouts, another executes. They follow trucks carrying high-value loads and wait for isolated pull-offs. They're patient, professional, and rarely caught. I finished that route with police escort for the next 30 miles. To this day, I don't park at unlit lots anymore. And whenever headlights sit too comfortably in my mirrors for too long, I don't ignore it. Because sometimes they're not just another driver. They're waiting for you to stop.